What's going on, everyone? Darkwater here, and welcome back to Planet Coaster and our Something Wicked This Way Comes build. I guess that's what we're calling it this year. Um, but something to get us in the Halloween mood. I start off by expanding the building there because I decided to kind of end the street there, but I do turn it into a curve rather than, it's a hard right angle turn, or well, it's still a right angle turn. You're just turning to the left. Um, but since I can't do terrain paint to really get a round corner there, it's a right angle. But we start off by just kind of expanding the building there, and now we're working on Dave's Market. Um, Picturing kind of just big open windows across the front, and then having some like fruit and vegetable stands outside. I don't know why that's in my head. That's just kind of where my mind goes whenever I think like small town Americana, like 1950s ish, maybe with the little fruit and vegetable stands out there. That's just kind of where my head goes. So we start making Dave's Market. Dave's Market will sit on the library side of the road at the very end. And I do additional work on the side by the courthouse. I do end up doing a road around the back of the courthouse, and we'll see that on the walkthrough. But I felt like there needed to be a little bit more, I guess, town, for lack of a better word. Um, but I felt like it was something that needed to be there. It's just a bunch of faux shop fronts. I think there's actually a shop in one of them. I think it's a. I don't even remember what the QSR in there is. It might be a burger shop. I don't recall. Um, but in some of these storefronts, I'm probably going to do a little bit of shopping just to get some people walking in and out. I'm not going to do any interior work, however. Which again, it bothers me that the you can't change the transparency on the windows to a little bit darker, so you can't see it. Hopefully, Planet Coaster 2 has a little bit more variation in font type. That I would I kind of feel like I would like that. Because there's I think seven, maybe eight, and they're not they're not generic enough. I know what that sounds, but it it's tough to do different kind of signage whenever all the signage is somewhat themed, because I think there's like a pirate and a Celtic one, so it's a little tough. But I'm excited to see what Planet Coaster 2 has, and I'm probably going to be playing that immediately out the gate. So excited about that coming soon. Here we're building the town church. It's going to end up sitting directly at the end of the main street. Whenever you just walk straight down, whenever I move it, it ends up moving off center because I had the idea of taking just having kind of a straight shot down Main Street, past the church, and then heading straight down to the spooky carnival. But it didn't. The positioning of the road doesn't make necessarily sense, and you'll see why in a second here. Whenever we move the church into its initial position, the farm is directly as you're staring at the church. It's going to be directly to the left, and we'll see that here, and you can gather for yourself whether or not the I made the correct move in moving the farm to basically where I'm building this church. It's going to sit kind of behind the library and behind the town itself. I don't think I've got a name for the farm, but in the book itself, doesn't it doesn't have a farm at all. It does have a kind of a forest transitional period, but I like the idea of having cornrows, I guess. So I was able to find some rows of corn on the Steam Workshop, and I think it fits in pretty good. The amount of doors and window selection is, I don't know. Personally, I feel like I would like a larger variation, but maybe that's just me. There's also no eaves on the diagonal portion to really kind of finish. But you see on the left there is a path, and that was the path I was going to take out to the carnival. But it just, if you're going down Main Street, it doesn't really necessarily flow mentally, I guess, because it just seems that would be an odd drive path for the farm. So we end up moving the entire church over to the left a little bit where that path is. And then we should have the build of the initial. Yep, here we go. We've got the build of the barn first, and then we will jump into the farmhouse. If you were around for last year's Spooky Park, I did a very similar barn actually, and I don't remember what ride I put in the middle of it. I think it's even slightly bigger than this one. But this is just basic facade. I don't do really anything with the back just because it's going to be not visible to public. The same with the farmhouse, although now that I'm thinking about it, we we do probably need to do a little bit of tweaking on that for the windows, given the fact that I changed the layout order, so that's a little off. Do a little bit of tweaking left with the barn just to get a little bit more, I guess, uniqueness on it. Contemplated opening up the middle for like a hayloft, but couldn't find the what I wanted. So now we jump into the build of the farmhouse and just start with kind of a stone, probably basement area. Steps leading up to the porch, and I can never remember what the the stairs are called. It's just steps. Um, Tried sinking it down, but it didn't have a good feeling. So got the wooden steps in here, and then decided to go with a little bit bluer. I contemplated white, but I decided to add a little bit of a blue to it. It probably could use some more depth, but again, just the front and side view are about the only thing we are really looking at. So kind of just leave it where we are. Do a little bit of dress work on it with pumpkins, but a lot of the fine detail work will probably happen in the last episode. Getting getting everything in place how I really want it. I tried the Victorian roof here, but it just it didn't look right for some reason. I don't know, even looking at it now, I just don't know why it doesn't look right, but it doesn't look right. So I do end up switching the roof to just the standard wooden one. I wasn't looking for a massive farmhouse, just something small. Because again, this has a very just kind of a small towny feel to it. Contemplated doing a small extension in the attic, maybe put a window up there, but I couldn't find anything that would really fit. The same with if I did a just an extension on there, there's no real like eave to the end of the pieces, so it doesn't really have an end. It's flush with the wall, and I don't like the way that looks, quite frankly. But here we just do a little bit of trim work around the bottom of it, get some pillars on the porch there, and then we kind of move it into place. I do try to find a light to hang from the middle, but the rope, the chain, everything's just really both long as well as just really large. Here, putting in a storm cellar, so in case a twister comes, Dorothy can make her way into the storm cellar. Couldn't find a pillar I really liked. It doesn't match the the light blue doesn't match the trim of the banisters there. So I just go with the brown one. It's not bad. I don't know if I would make the choice a second time, but it's not horrific. It kind of blends in with the rail itself, so it's okay. Add a little bit of roof trim, realize that is the wrong color, and then fix that real quick. And then a couple chairs, and again, trying to get the light. End up just mounting it on the wall there. But we will kind of wrap things up in the park. And you can see all the additional stuff that I did after the build here. And we will do a quick walk around there and wrap things up. So I will see you in Planet Coaster in just a second. Okay, so we are back in the park here. Didn't do too much on the front half. That's all the same. Think I'm gonna do a tunnel right here. So you go through the tunnel into the down Main Street. I did add a section back here. Again, I felt that there needed to be something back here, just a small little area looping around the back. Just I do have a shop here. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much the same, with the exception of good old Dave's Market here. Uh, like the idea of having the fruit out front of the marketplace. Wish there was a little bit more variation or something to that effect. But as you're coming down Main Street here, there is the church and graveyard over here to the left. Have a little bit of tweaking there to do. Um, you'll notice that I did slide it over so it is kind of centered along Main Street, and added the graveyard because I didn't like the way that things were lining up. The path there seemed really odd, and I didn't know where to take it, and so I made a right instead. So you come down this way, and you basically end up into the farming area. We've got all of our rows of corn and our house. Need some windows on this side since that's going to be visible. And then we've got our spooky, scary. I should at least let the crows have their fun. Spooky, scary scarecrow. Our farm. And then you keep going past again the other windbreaks. And this is where the mysterious carnival will be. Basically, down the middle, there's going to be food, games on both sides, rides on the outer side, probably train over here. We'll see if that's going to be the way it lays out. Depends on how much space we have over here. But got a little bit closer to getting into the ride section. That'll probably be where we end up next time. But I'll probably keep working on the main town area in between. It just takes a while because I'm trying to find good aesthetics here. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys for being here, and I look forward to seeing you guys again in Planet Coaster. And as always, I hope you guys have yourselves a spooktacular day.